Yo, what is up guys? It is Samool here, back with another video for you guys today. And today we're going to be talking about a very hot topic in the community right now, Peira and Cerise. So Cerise is the current limited banner, as you can see on your screen right now. She is a very fast ice ranger used as an opener in PvP and has some decent usage in late game PvE as well. Now, Peira's banner is also expected to run very soon, and people are wondering if they should skip on Cerise because Peira looks like a better version of Cerise, or if they should just pull for Cerise and then skip Peira because she's unlimited. And I'm here to actually talk about what you guys should actually do as an early game player, as a mid game player, and a late game player. So if you guys don't know what Cerise does, let's go over both of the unit's skills real quick. So Cerise's S3 is an AoE attack that decreases buff durations by 1 turn and puts speed and restrict debuff. Also, you get invincibility and you'll attack with advantageous element. We have her S2, which is a single target stun that puts unbuffable and pushes her CR by 50%. You can soul burn this to, stun those very pesky high effect resist soul weavers. And her S1 is a CR push on herself that will trigger a random dual attack from an ally when her S3 is on cooldown, which it should always be. And now we look at Peira's skills real quick. Also her stats. So they both are running a 128 base speed, which means they're super fast. They're 1 speed lower than the max speed in the game, which is 129. But 128 is still very close, and most openers that are used in PvP are going to be not as fast as 128. Like Conquer Aurelius is a bit slower, AOL, Angel of Light, Angelica is a bit slower as well. So both of these units will be able to go first for the most part if you are evenly geared. So looking at Peira's S3, it is an attack buff for everyone besides herself, and then she gets stealth, escort, and a barrier for 3 turns. So keep in mind, escort is a new buff. It will basically work as an Aureus, where you'll take 30% of the damage suffered by all allies, and this will override Aureus because the effect is larger. Next we have her S2, which is an AoE attack, which does basically what Cerise's S3 does, which you decrease buff durations by 1 turn and then you restrict, but instead of speed down, you actually put unbuffable. Now I personally think unbuffable is a bit better than speed down because there's a lot of buffs in the game. This stops like Gab from proccing, greater attack buff from Alexa's Basket. You could stop AOL's skill nullifier as well, because the way it works in arena defense is there's no RNG, where when Angel of Light cleanses with their S2, it's going to always cleanse the restrict first and then not the unbuffable. So you won't be able to actually cleanse the unbuffable and put up that skill nullifier, which makes her a very good Angel of Light counter. And this also works because it stops Vigor from Conquer Aurelius's S3 from being applied to her team, because keep in mind Peira will always go first. So she's going to S3 first before Conquer Aurelius S3s, which means that the Vigor buff, which is usually undispellable, will not be able to go up, because unbuffable actually works against Vigor. This also grants her an extra turn like Cerise, which means she can S2 into S3, so she can basically do what Cerise does, and then attack buff everyone, and then also gets a lot of buffs for herself. Now her S1 is a very basic skill, but it's actually very good. Basically, you have a chance to stun, it goes up to 40%, and you can soul burn it for only 10 souls, and you get 100% stun. And when you have a barrier which lasts for 3 turns, by the way, you're going to have a 55% chance without even soul burning. Or actually, I think it's even higher, 65. So it makes her a very good control unit as well. So it makes her a very good opener and very annoying to deal with. Because keep in mind, she has that very thick barrier and stealth for 3 turns. She's taking damage for your team, and she's just CCing your team over and over. And has a lot of utility. Now, at first glance, people might think, wow, Cerise is going to get power crept. She's nowhere near as good as Peira. And you guys will be right for PvP. I think Peira is a very strong unit. I think she's like actually broken RGB unit, or red, green, blue. If you guys don't know what RGB means, basically non-ML. And I think Peira is going to be a super highly contested opener. She looks very strong in cleave. You can actually cleave Conquer Aurelius and Angel of Lights now because of her S2, and then she has the attack buff for her team. She also looks very good in control comps because she has so many stuns, and she's super fast, and she's super tanky. And she's even good in like bruiser comps, because what is everyone running nowadays on defense? You have Angel of Light, you have Conquer Aurelius, right, running everywhere in World Arena and in Guild Wars defense, and Peira counters both of them, so it makes her, by default, a very strong unit. She's going to be dummy strong in the current meta. I think she is a definite must pull, and I'm going to be releasing a video on Peira more in the future when her banner comes closer, but Peira is definitely must pull. Now, that's not to say Cerise you shouldn't pull for. Now, the reason why I advocate for Cerise is she's also very good in PvP. Although Peira seems like a better opener in PvP because she probably is in more aspects than Cerise is, Cerise is still very viable. She's a good opener. She has a stun that ignores effect resist. She has dual attacks. So in bruiser teams, she actually might be better in some situations because the longer the fights go, she just brings a lot of dual attacks in, kind of like Conquer Elias, and the damage really adds up. But in other aspects, she's probably a lot weaker. She's not as good in cleave, although she is very good in cleave. But Peira is just like a giga broken unit that kind of makes Cerise look bad, but Cerise is actually not bad. She's actually still very good. Now, the one reason I'd say for newer and even mid-game players and even late-game players why you should pull for Cerise is, one, she's limited. So she'll only come around once a year, so if you miss her, you miss her. Albeit, if you are a new player, you might not have the gear for her, but I promise you she is a very strong unit because for PvE, she's used everywhere in Expedition. You use her in Light Expedition, use her in Light Expedition and Dark Expedition, where she is best in slot unit. She's a very, very good CR cycler for those expeditions. You actually kind of need her to score really high, and she's also very good in some Abyss floors. And she also is running alongside Guiding Light on her banner. So while you're trying to pull for Cerise, you have a chance to actually pull for Guiding Light, which is a very, very powerful limited artifact. Honestly, it is one of the best artifacts for rangers in the game that want to open that are very fast, like Faithless Lytica, Operator Sigrid, even Landy, right? Landy, even though she's not super fast, it is her best artifact if you run her on a speed build. So that being said, I think Cerise is still worth pulling for because of those reasons. Now, let's say you only have a choice between Cerise or Peira because your bookmarks are very low, which is probably the situation a lot of you guys are in. So what I would personally recommend, as a newer player, I think you pull for Cerise because Cerise you will use a lot quicker than you will use Peira because Cerise is used in Light Expedition and Dark Expedition, and you guys really want to get your Expedition teams up and running before you focus on PvP because they give you modification gems that can switch some stats of your gear, which will make it so you have better gear for PvP anyways. Peira is also very hard to gear. Even though Cerise is hard to gear as well for PvP, in PvE you can run her on a very budget build and she works just fine. Now Peira is also not limited, so while you're pulling on your random Covenant summons every day, or if you're pulling on the events that Smilegate runs where they give you 10 summons a day for a week, you get a chance to pull for Peira. Also, if you get element summons, you have a chance to pull for as well. And to be honest, the next time Peira's banner runs will probably be before Cerise's banner runs again anyways. So I would recommend focusing on Cerise anyways because she is limited. You have a chance for Guiding Light. You'll have higher usage over early game and mid game in Expedition. And if you're a late game player who already has your Expedition teams running and you don't have Cerise, right, and you already have like a Guiding Light from the Powder Knowledge Shop, then sure, you can skip her and get Peira because Peira is just super OP in the meta right now because she counters Conquer Elias and Angel of Light Angelica. Now, that's pretty much it for what I think about Peira and Cerise. I think although at first glance they seem very similar, they're ice openers, they fit very different roles. I think the best way to look at it is Cerise is going to be way better for PvE, and she's still very serviceable in PvP. I think you'll still see her in Guild Wars defenses, but Peira is kind of like the jack of all trades that counters all the OP units right now, which is kind of sad because that's how Smilegate quote unquote nerfs things. They just release counters over and over. So yeah, it's still a decision that's up to you to decide, but this is my personal opinion. If you guys disagree or agree, let me know down in the comments down below, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot. And I'll see you guys next video. Peace.